All right, let's continue our work with even and odd powers. So let's look at this example on the left first. We take the 5 to what it is directly beside, and it's directly beside the parentheses. So everything inside the parentheses is going to get a power of 5, and it's the entire thing, the negative included. So the -4 gets a power of 5, the x squared gets a power of 5, and the y gets a power of 5. The -4 you would write out 5 times. And the -4 to the 5th power is going to give you -1024, because when it's an odd exponent, the result will be a negative. Power to a power, you multiply. So we get x to the 10th, and then we have y to the 5th at the end. Over here on the right, we have -4 is also going to get a power like it did over here. X squared is going to get a power, and the y is also going to get the power of 6, because the 6 goes to the entire set of parentheses. In this case, when we take -4 to the 6th power, it's going to be a positive number, because when you have an even exponent, the result is going to be positive even if you start out with a negative number. That would not be the case, of course, if the -4 hadn't been in parentheses. In this case, -4 to the 6th power would be -4096, because the even power only goes to the 4 and not to that negative symbol out in front. But since we have parentheses, the 6 goes to the entire -4. X squared to the 6th power, power to a power you multiply, and our result is 4096, x to the 12th, y to the 6th power. All right, 2 more examples. On the left side, we have an even power. So we take that even power to every single piece, because the 2 goes to the entire set of parentheses. So we have -12 squared, x to the 5th squared, and y to the 8th is also squared. We get a positive 144, because we have an even exponent. Power to a power you multiply. Again, power to a power you multiply, and we get y to the 16th. Over here, the 3 goes to the entire -12, because it's in parentheses. The x to the 5th also gets a power of 3, and the y to the 8th gets a power of 3. So we take -12 to the 3rd power, and we get -1728. The result is negative because we had an odd exponent. Then power to a power you multiply, power to a power you multiply, and we get -1728, x to the 15th, y to the 24th. And then another example, odd versus even. This time let's look at the odd first. The power goes to every single piece that is in the parentheses. It goes to the entire -7. The 5 goes to the x, and it goes to the y squared. -7 to the 5th power is equal to -16,807. Power to a power you multiply. And again, this was a negative number because we had an odd exponent and a negative number to begin with. All right, on the left side, we're going to deal with the even power, and this even power goes to every single piece. It goes to the entire -7, because that whole -7 is in the parentheses. Then the x gets a power of 4, and the y gets a power of 4. You'll notice in this case I wrote a power of 1. I thought you might be wondering why, whenever a variable is on its own and you don't see an exponent, why I don't write parentheses. And the reason is because in my head I'm thinking about how I have an x to the first power. If I'd multiply 1 by the power that's over here, then I'd just be left with whatever the power was on the entire set of parentheses. So I just do that in my head and I just say, all right, now it's going to be x to the fourth. So that's why I didn't write parentheses over here or in the past. Y squared to the fourth power, power to a power you multiply and you get y to the eighth. And then negative 7 to the fourth power is going to give us a positive 2,401 because we're going to have pairs, 2 pairs of 7s, and it's going to result in a positive number. All right, and that's all of the examples that we have on odd and even powers.